Greetings and welcome to my dear Taurian friends. Welcome to my channel. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Today I shall be doing a reading for y'all. The Great Mirror shall approach. It's 9 cards, a 9-card spread that will help you view apparencies. These views or perspectives may be a bit warped because of the subjectivity and the reflexivity of it all. As you know, we are co-creators in connections that involve deep karmic ties. So certain things may pan out according to the chaos that ensues from such a connection. Remember to take only what you will and also to leave the rest. If you like, please like. If you dislike, please be honest and just dislike. Thank you very much. I do appreciate your candor and your grace. Thank you for showing up. So I shall be working primarily from a deck from 1983, the Grand Moroccan Tarot deck, which will be hopefully prove insightful for your situation. So the Great Mirror is designed to pull the energies between you and someone else, the object of your affection or a significant other, and the mirror between you two shall emerge. Okay. Okay. There is an equivalence between your sight and your heart. Things are emerging that may be in tandem with both an awareness as well as an openness to such things. I think within this connection you have more of an awareness. Excuse me. Meaning that the subtle flows of energy that exist between you and this person or you and this object of affection are essentially divided, and someone is actually opening up to you, whether you know it or not. I think you do, in terms of the actual connection that stems from the heart, and that's a good thing. However, the desire is one thing that both of you are suppressing. The fire within this connection and the baser instincts are dividing you, and there could be a type of repulsion here as one of you is more spiritual or perhaps the other is a bit more concerned with awareness, with sight. Now, both of you are co-creating one powerful element. The other, your person or your object of affection, is essentially dealing with an external others or two other things, and they're trying to juggle between the two. But there still is some sort of vision of co-creation in terms of one pentacle here. And I think you're on top of it more than they are, but you're all kind of on the same page, which is interesting. So, yeah, take what you will. So, now I would invite you to relax, my dear Taurus, and just take it easy, let the energies flow. Remember, this is guidance. Interesting. Okay. I think you've gotten over some sort of setback when it comes to the mental progression of your mind. When it comes to the dream world, something has brought you into a type of awareness and wants you to move toward the end of some sort. But this end also signifies a beginning. It's the end of thought and the beginning of something deeper. And not only that, it involves your core energy, which is suppressed at the moment in terms of what you can commit yourself to. However, I think you have the wherewithal to essentially deal with something that was felt like you had to repair in some sort of way. You were a bit more responsible. There is an element of moving away in terms of a commitment, yet it's still being a matter of core principle. Something about it wanted. There's an urge here to actually live up to something, and I think the possibility is that for you to do so. However, do not test the aspects of determination of what actually can be something that plays out accordingly. And if there's something about the love that exists between you two, if it does exist, there's something about it that may detract from your actual core offer of what you want to offer to this person. This person is holding back in a certain way and they find strength in it. During the season of Leo, they could be a bit despondent as well. There could be some sort of urge for them to get off the high horse when it comes to what they expect from their external world. Um, they so desire peace as well. They desire something from the past, some sort of hidden connection with you. 3 minus the 9. So there's a difference of 6 here. As well as you, there is the difference of 1 from the 2 of Cups that come from the star and the 1 that the Knight carries. There is a small sort of mode of deliverance here when it comes to romance meeting pleasure or meeting the energy of strength, drive, and determination, base instincts. But I think the suppression of such instincts is quite strong on their end. They've had to go through some sort of deep transformative change and may still not be able to be reaching out because they're trying to taper their own sort of inner shadows, whatever they may be. Yours was definitely a sense of fear or triple heartbreak at one point, leading to a sense of a fallout of some sort. Now, whoa, what the fuck? Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more than a 9 card spread. Get your bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. By the way, this is not going to require an extended. I'll just go ahead and do a complete, thorough, deep-ass reading for you, free of charge, for my dear Taurus. Um, right. So the narrative is that you have gone through a cycle of doubt, a cycle of disencouragement when it comes to the actual thoughts that meander throughout your mind. And these have, in its form, in its essence, come mostly during the time of night. Thus, the mysteries of the moon have been quite prevalent with your sort of recalling what has happened here and what is happening or what will happen, essentially. I think you have a very clear mind here. Consciously, you know what you're doing. And not only that, you have the ultimate free will to do what you will as opposed to your significant other. Your significant other sits on their throne of logic and reason, and they find no inclination towards the importation of nonsense. They're quite clear-minded as well. So they are, you are in essence mirroring them in such a way. However, theirs is based more on some sort of truth, that they have developed through a great deal of meditations or whatnot. You as well, but I think yours is more quite free. It's a carte blanche, which is an absolute free card here. It's an empty table. So it is to make what you will of it in terms of the conscious realm. Between you two, there is the Six of Cups, the one that I told you was mentioned earlier. Excuse me, sorry. That was missing and now it's here. So that Six of Cups energy is strong and prevalent. Of course, you all know by now that the Six of Cups, it harkens to a deep connection, one of the soul level and as well karmic affiliations from the past. Perhaps from childhood and beyond, there could be some semblance of something that happened in childhood that echoes in this situation. Now, there's something about you that wants to draw clear boundaries, and perhaps you have had a falling out because boundaries weren't being drawn clearly in the past, especially in regards to the Six of Cups energy. This is nostalgia, this is memory, and these memories that have been coming up have essentially called you up to a call to action to actually make up what you will of it, to actually project into reality and in reality reflecting such a thing. Um, yeah, and I think on their end, they also see it as wise for you to actually draw boundaries. But now that boundaries are being renegotiated, and there's something that the king wants to tell. What does the king want to tell? If anything, usually the king can be quite a bastard, especially the King of Swords. So let's see. Okay. Interesting. He switches to fire. The end of a cycle, as well as why things had to come into tension, had to resolve itself. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Pentacles, interesting. And the Nine of Cups, interesting. On the upright. Nine of Cups showed up earlier in the reverse. So there seems to be some sort of reason behind his despondency. That is what the king wants to reason with you as you renegotiate boundaries and you open up the ground that exists between you and this person when it comes to the actual connection, the memories. There seems to be a wellspring of memories as well as a wellspring of things from the past that may be affecting your current state of affairs. Now, on the soul level, it's interesting because you are bonded in some sort of way. And I see that the king might have a heavy hand in terms of manipulation or perhaps some sort of truth, synthesizing of a truth that may actually keep you in bondage, something that you don't want to hear, or perhaps something that keeps you protected, or perhaps you have your own psychological prison that may be bonding you in some sort of way, as you can see. There is a possibility also that there is a hero or savior complex here that has to do with your freedom or you essentially being broken free in some sort of way from this, or perhaps the connection has just forced you into this position of not being able to really say what you mean or see what's being said or see for yourself what is the cause of anything that leads up to the Eight of Swords, um, or perhaps beyond it, the Nine of Swords, which is fear afterwards. There's a challenge here in this connection, and it's very difficult for you to clearly state what it is you want or what it is you're trying to say or what it is you're trying to mean when it comes to this connection. A need for truth bringing is here, and the king symbolizes someone. The King of Swords can bring you the truth here, but they are dealing essentially with an element of the sun in the reverse. Excuse me. So this has to do with essentially the darker aspects of certain things, the shadow realm, the dark sun, the dwarf star. This is that which pulls in yet is burnt out. So a great mass of darkness is here. Um, and yeah, it's quite difficult to say. So we'll go ahead and pull a few cards in terms of this placement. On the soul level, they have the sun in reverse, meaning that they could be somewhat cold and perhaps despondent, like I said, with the 12th house in the Pisces energy and the Hanged Man, as well as the King of Swords, as well as the sun in reverse. There's a certain amount of nurture that is not here. It's more all head for some reason. Okay. Okay. So the paths are blocked by a paradigm that's supposed to happen, and the sun comes up in reverse again. Very interesting. So we have the twin sun here, two suns, and they're both in reverse. There are 3 children here, 2 twins and 1 child, plus the Ace of Swords again. Okay, this is all synthesizing. What is this leading up to? The Queen of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. Queen of Pentacles pops out again. There she is. And the Queen of Cups. So there's something about the grounded elements of certain emotions that have been sort of iffy, that this person can't identify if these are toxic or if these are have been projected onto him, or if the environment's sort of polluting his water content, his emotional capacities. But also, there's also a possibility that this person is trying to shift perspectives and change the conditions in which he provides love. But there is an opening here with the 9 of Cups plus the 9 of Cups echoing, meaning that there's something that the king wants to provide, which are new ways of communication that are paths of love to open up and to essentially provide a sense of nurture, or at least a sense of gravity when it comes to the situation, trying to pull you in. But I don't think you're very comfortable with that, especially because the moon here is in reverse between you two. Okay, now it's making sense. So on the soul level, you guys are certainly separated in some sort of way. Even if you're physically close, there's some sort of distance, but most definitely there is a psychic barrier around you, psychological. So it's psychic, psychological barrier around you that is protecting you, and you are in need of some sort of rescue, or at least to let your blindfold down and not be clouded with any more thoughts anymore. You don't want to think anymore about the soul connection of this. You want it to just be sort of over, or at least for it to be consummated in some sort of way. The strength in this person has become sort of weak, but both of you are very strong in the mind, and the mind is willing something to happen, which is essentially on the soul level. The moon in reverse. We mentioned the moon being a great factor in this situation. Moon cycles, especially eclipse cycles, and in the last 1 or 2 of them, there have been great tower moments that have essentially double compounded sort of effects in terms of tower energies, especially when the moon is in reverse. There are great truths that are revealed, as well as the Ace of Swords here and the Ace of Swords that showed up here, right here. So when it comes to this truth, there is a possibility to actually nurture this, especially from their end, and give a sense of communication, and for you to reach out as well and to meet with a pentacle of your own. The choices you got, the choices your own. I mean, it's up to you with your free will, and them up to their logic, up to their truth, to actually consummate this sort of new beginning, or if not a new beginning, at least the 2 of Pentacles that reach together to create some sort of balancing, and emotional sort of troubles are washed away in some sort of way. But there's a great deal of emotions here, especially with the moon in reverse, and these will come as the truth. They are the bridge. They are the energy that fuel the sword's energy, fuel communications or psychic activity between you two. Now, on the subconscious realm, we have here a number of cards that are quite interesting. The first being that your object of affection is dealing with the contract card, the soul contract, and it's in the reverse, meaning that it's not that they want to revisit and try to understand and communicate what they need, but they don't truly want that. They can't do it, is what I'm trying to say. I think they have a great deal of pride in their logic and their cutting abilities, excuse me, and the way they communicate. is primarily through logic, and because there's something that befuddles them in this connection and also takes away their sense of strength or their strength of empowerment, there's a type of sacrifice when it comes to the sword to let that down and to finally make the emotional sort of communication, the bridge work so that the Six of Cups works between you two. So the contract needs to be renegotiated or at least re-understood through the context of words, words that can be read on the upright. But at the same time, I think, my dear Taurus, you're looking to not offer your cup towards their direction. Perhaps you've done so for quite some time, and now there's a need for you to look elsewhere. It's a possibility. Also, there's a possibility that for them to actually receive a cup from you, it would require a great deal of head turning as well as repositioning of the throne you sit on and how you find empowerment in giving to your external world. There's something about you that is being awoken in terms of the energy of the Great Mother as well. There's something about you that that is quite conditional when it comes to what you want to offer. The choice is yours. I mean, you have a great deal of it to offer to anyone, and I think for the time being, there's difficulty, especially because between you two, there is a Lover's card in reverse. The inability to make a choice is here. Also, between you two, there is no way to embrace each other because of either toxicity or fear of the flame, the primordial flame. And there's difficulty, and it seems like in the situation that the higher powers that watch over it are no longer there. But you must try to have a bit more faith. There's a lack of faith here, especially because what crosses what has been sort of burned in terms of a contract. Um, Especially because the Hierophant was in reverse, there's some sort of betrayal or heartbreak that needs to be processed in order for the lovers to actually make amends. But the memory still remains, as well, the great connection still remains, and there is still some sort of deep memory that is hard to suppress, and the more you suppress it, the more it 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 breaks through in very scary ways and disarms people, and it's very difficult considering the number of variables that are here. For advice, find health as well. Find a way to walk the path, because this connection, it has a great foundation, and if you can honor your both of yourselves to live out according to what makes sense in terms of what you're listening to, how you ground. There's an ability for you to become very healthy in yourselves as two separate entities. But the choice is here, the choice, and it's still creating a lot of tension. The heart really is activated, and I think there is a sense of an impending burnout or perhaps an end. Doesn't mean it's the end, but I mean, you go from the 4 to the 10 of rods, and in between that is the 5, the great tension leading up to the 9 of Pentacles, which is the card of Taurus. It's the card of abundance, and it's also the card of really listening to signs and synchronicities from whatever is in the external world. So that is the advice. I thank you, my dear Taurus. Take care now. Bye.